I know. Did you receive a new drone for the holidays? Are you looking to use a drone in your business for other commercial purposes other than a hobby? Well, I've got some laws that you need to be up to speed on. So stay tuned and we'll bring you up to speed on your drone laws for 2018. Did you get a new drone for the holidays? Do you use a drone in your business? Are you a YouTube influencer? Do you use drone usage in your social media? Are you more than just a hobbyist? Do you use a drone for your commercial business? Well, stay tuned and I'll give you the background on drone laws that might be affecting you. Hey, how's it going? My name is Andy Contiguglia. I'm a lawyer based in Denver, Colorado. Welcome to your Legal Tip Tuesday. As I mentioned, I'm going to give you some background and some information on the laws that might be affecting you when it comes to using your drone, not only as a recreational hobbyist, but also in your commercial business, or in some things that you might want to take into consideration as you use a drone, whether you're a YouTube influencer or using it as part of your commercial business. Really what it comes down to here is usage of your drone will fall into one of two categories, either the recreational use or the commercial use. Typically, the recreational flight will be classified for the vast number of us who are pilots, recreational users of these aircraft, whether we are using it for casual cruising, competitive racing, or capturing our own personal content and putting those awesome pictures up on YouTube or up on Facebook. If you're a recreational user, your usage is going to fall under Section 336. And in order to fly under Section 336, your model aircraft, or in this case, your drone, you must only be using it for recreational purposes. So keep in mind, if you are using your drone for something other than your hobby, or something other than using it, something other than recreational purposes, you are going to fall under the commercial usage of that. Number two, you must register your drone. December 12th, 2017, President Trump signed into effect a new law that requires every drone owner to register their drone with the FAA. You'll get a little serial number and you're required to place a copy of that serial number on your drone. Number three, you must fly within the visual line of sight. So you must have an eye on your drone every time that you are flying it. Number four, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about this, but number four, you must follow a community-based safety guideline by flying within programming of a nationwide community-based organization. I'll come back to that in a little bit more detail. In order to continue, you must fly your drone. It must be under 55 pounds unless it's certified by a community-based organization like the AMA. You must never fly near other aircraft, and you must notify an airport prior to flying your drone within 5 miles of any airport. And the last one is never fly near in emergency response efforts. Now, getting back to that whole community-based safety guidelines and flying within the programming of a nationwide community-based organization, there is a list of factors that you must take into consideration. Number one, you must never fly your drone over 400 feet above ground level. Number two, you must always keep your eyesight on the drone at all times. Number three, you must not fly over unprotected people or moving vehicles. Number four, you must stay 25 feet away from other individuals or vulnerable property. Number five, you must not photograph or conduct surveillance on individuals who have an expectation of privacy without their permission. 6, you must not fly in adverse weather conditions that could affect visibility, things like wind or fog or rainstorms. And again, never fly under the influence, so when you fly your drone, no drugs or alcohol can be involved. All right, so if you follow those rules, you'll be within the hobbyist or recreational usage of your drone. Keep in mind, if you step outside of those rules, you will automatically be classified as a commercial pilot for the usage of your drone. And if you don't follow then the commercial usage requirements of your drone, you're going to fall into some serious problems. For the most part, the distinction is pretty clear whether it comes to using your drone for hobbyist purposes or recreational purposes, and also commercial purposes. Things like selling your photographs that you've used or that you've taken by your drone is going to be considered by the FAA as a commercial usage of your drone. So if you're a wedding photographer, if you're a professional photographer and you're selling your goods, or you're a creative professional and you're using the drone footage as part of your creative process and then selling that creative process, you will fall under the category and fall into the situation where it's going to be a commercial usage of your drone and not just hobbyist. So we're in a unique situation here. What about those of us who are YouTube influencers who use drone footage and then pay per click or use advertising on our Google pages or on our YouTube pages, and we are seeking people to pay for us or seeking compensation for the works that we put out as creative influencers? Well, that's a little bit gray under those circumstances. You got to be careful. If your purpose is to be making money from the footage that you are putting out, likely the FAA is going to be considering you a commercial usage of your drone. So using a drone to contract inspection, so if you're like a roofing inspector and you're using your drone to get the lay of the land, or a landscaper and you're using the drone for your commercial purposes, for security purposes, mapping or monitoring purposes, you will fall under the category of commercial usage for your drone. So if you're using it for commercial purposes, here's what you need to consider. You must be at least 16 years of age or older. You must hold a remote pilot airman certificate with a small drone or UAS rating, or have the direct supervision of somebody who is licensed. So bottom line, you have to be licensed. You must also pass the TSA, or the Transportation Security Administration, vetting process. In other words, they are going to make sure that you can fly your drone appropriately. You must fly under 400 feet above ground level, or if you are going to fly above 400 feet, you must remain 400 feet away from any structures. You must keep your aircraft in eyesight at all times, or have a spotter available to you who's going to be able to keep an eye on your aircraft if you're not able to. You must fly at or below 100 miles per hour. You must yield the right of way to manned aircraft. The aircraft must be registered if it weighs over 55 pounds. You must only fly between 30 minutes before the official setting of the sun, or from sunrise to 30 minutes after the setting of the sun, with appropriate anti-collision lighting on board. You must not fly over people or from moving vehicles unless you are in a rural area. And then there are specific areas and airspace classifications where your aircraft is allowed to fly pending air traffic control permission, much like in the recreational purposes. However, in other circumstances, you don't require that permission. Now keep in mind, some of these rules are subject to waiver. You can get permission to fly the drone over people, for example, or you can get permission to fly your drone at nighttime. In addition to this, check your local laws with every state. Many states nowadays are looking at passing their own set of laws that will be in addition to the FAA rules and regulations. So check your local state law to make sure that you are flying within the guidelines of your local state law, in addition to the federal rules as well. So I hope you've liked this video. I hope you found it informative. Please like it, please subscribe to our videos, and keep an eye out here every Tuesday for your Legal Tuesday tips. Thank you again. My name is Contiguglia, and I look forward to seeing you.